Oh, it's recording. तने हारा मैं तेरा सनम है, मीठा मीठा तू हरा भरा मैं, तेरा सारा मैं तने हारा मैं तेरा सनम है, मीठा मीठा तू हरा भरा मैं, तेरा सारा मैं सिंदूरी रंग सुहागन सच्चा रे सरमाया छुपाया है वो खुद में माही आया है मैंने माही पाया है नजर लाए ना कोई नजर लाए ना दिल ने शगुन मनाया है इश्क पढ़ाना आया है नजर लाए ना कोई नजर लाए ना नजर लाए जो तुमको चल जाए हो चल दे जग बेगाना हो नजर लाए ना नजर लाए ना मैंने हारा मैं तेरा सनम है मीठा मीठा तू हरा भरा मैं तेरा सारा मैं
That was a beautiful performance by Miss Saika Birwal. Greetings, everyone. Here's another episode of Pod Shots. Today we have with us Miss Shireen Khaja from the Law College, Miss Manaswi Reddy from the Engineering College, and Miss Saika Birwal from the Engineering College as well. No, I'm just kidding. Saika Birwal is from the Science College. So, hey everyone, how are you?
Hello.
for you.
I'm fine.
Hello, what's up?
So, the topic today is self love. So, let's start discussing about it, starting with Saika.
Yes. I would like to tell something about self-love. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knows self-love in a different perspective, in their own perspective. But according to me, self-love is something related to totally accepting yourself for who you are and loving that accepted version of yourself %. So that is, I think, in a brief way, what self-love actually means to me. So, yeah.
Perfect. Shireen?
Rightly said by Saika. But the thing is, a lot of people don't really understand what the concept of self-love really is. Like they try to substitute it with narcissism or thinking that it's a weird idea. The concept of loving yourself seems like a very weird idea to many, and also selfish to some extent, which is very untrue. Because if I really feel that if you can't love yourself first, there is no way you can love anyone else, be it any other in any relation to another second person in your life. So it's very important that one must accept themselves the way they truly are and be comfortable in their own skin first and love themselves, and only then can they, uh, you know, uh, show it or portray that to anyone else. Otherwise, there is literally no point in any relationship.
So, yeah, Manaswi?
Yeah, I totally resonate with Saika and Shireen's opinion. What I believe personally is that once you start seeing your own value first, only then the others will be able to see it in you. Unless and until you love yourself, how do you expect other person to love you? That is the first thing. And we often come across the question like, do I actually love myself? Different people have different answers related to it. A few people might be thinking it to be too narcissistic, but I don't think it's the same thing. Loving yourself means that you completely are comfortable in your own skin. You accept that you deserve love, to be loved, kindness, compassion, to be understood by people and understood by yourself in the first place. So yeah.
I would like to add something. I've observed people. I've observed people, changing themselves to please others. I don't think that is self love in any way. Just because you are trying to change yourself into something you're not even comfortable with, just because that self of yours is making others happy, doesn't mean you have to force yourself to love that version of yourself. That is entirely wrong, and this it totally contradicts the concept of self love.
So, what other factors would you like to discuss about self love? Because many of the people have this misconception where people, as you guys pointed out, what related to either narcissism or else something which is very kiddish and something which is actually not given a really good thought about it. So, it's either nothing or extremity. So, any other points you want to add or some new things you want to discuss? Starting with Manasvi.
Uh, yeah, actually, I'll come to the point like self love is one of the most trending topic, or a lot of millennials these days talk about self love and its importance. Uh, what I think is ultimately, see, you might have friends, you might have family, but ultimately, you are the only person who is with you all the day. So we should be very well aware about what we are, how our thoughts process. And I don't believe in the fact that the other person with you knows your thoughts better than you. You are the ultimate person who knows your thoughts about your feelings and all about us. So it's just you ultimately influencing yourself more than anything in the environment. So falling in love with your own self is more important than falling in love with anything else that is around us.
Perfect.
Yeah, when a simple small example is that just compare yourself, driving on the road. You love your vehicle, you're just going, you just want to experience it to the fullest, but then you are in the middle of the city where there are others around you and they are driving as well. But then if you just think about yourself and just drive away without thinking about how your rash driving would affect the others, that is not right. I mean, when you're living in this whole world, you have to live with others. So solely thinking about yourself is also not entirely right. Thinking about yourself, loving yourself, while it does not affect others in a negative way, that is okay.
True, totally agree.
Yeah, like
That's correct, Saika, because like what you mean to say is that your self-love shouldn't be a hindrance to another person's, uh, comfort, or it shouldn't hurt any other third person. It is
Yes.
very right. But that extremity is where we need to make sure that it's not extremely selfish, or it doesn't, go to that level. And boundaries, basically setting your boundaries
Right.
is very important in anything, and that's the same thing that applies to loving yourself also. So yeah.
let's talk about the ill effects of not having self love. Like
Hmm.
basically, when you're not practicing self love, what are the things that you go through, or what are the things that actually happen in your life?
Hmm.
So let's start with Shiri.
So, like, we're here to talk about why it is so important. I mean, having self love is so important. At the same time, we need to know that if we don't practice self love, what are the ill effects of it? So, firstly, it so happens that when you don't love yourself enough, or something like that, you start being extremely hard on yourself. Small things start to make huge difference in your life, and you blame yourself for things you're not responsible for. Or say, even if you are responsible for something, you go harder on yourself than you should. Like, you go into a shell, and you just can't forgive yourself. Or you basically, it affects you to such an extent that you don't want to make mistakes in life anymore. You want to attain that kind of a level in your life where making a mistake seems like a sin, you don't allow yourself to explore and learn new things anymore because of the one wrong decision or the one wrong choice that you could have made. So it's important to learn to forgive yourself as part of loving yourself. That is a bad thing that can happen if you don't love yourself enough.
Okay. Perfectly put, Shirin. Saika?
So another thing I totally agree with Shireen. And another thing, it's like an ill effect in a way. If you don't love yourself, you somehow get lost. Um, you just lose yourself in a way that even if you are not doing something, and you just try to take the negative credit for it and try to blame yourself, like Shireen said. And also you lose this amazing opportunity of exploring yourself. You lose this quality, of being aware of yourself. You lose the quality of actually knowing that you're making mistakes. You do not know that you're making mistakes because everything you do seems like a mistake to you. Even if you're doing a good thing, you don't try to think about what you're doing, and you just feel like a total failure, which leads to no confidence, no self confidence at all. And I don't think with that kind of an attitude you can actually survive as a social being.
Rightly said. Manasvi?
Uh, yeah, for me, I believe lack of self-love is a pathway of, self-doubting is one of the things. You start blaming yourself for things that you're not responsible for. Also, you start questioning your own self. Am I actually beautiful? Am I actually good enough for it? Am I really doing well in my life? All these questions start pricking you more than it should be affecting you, and they start affecting you in a very negative way. So you start becoming dependent on people to seek their validation. To be more specific, you keep waiting for others to compliment you and tell you that okay, you're doing fine. If that doesn't happen, you start thinking that things aren't falling right in the place. Maybe I'm not good enough. That is one thing that really happens. So with self love, I think you're less dependent on waiting for others to fulfill you, or others, irrespective of their validation, you're happy with yourself. Irrespective of that self doubt, you're confident enough to live your own life and you're actually happy with it.
Okay. So
Yeah,
three
self love actually arises from self doubt in a way. I mean, in a good way. You doubt yourself, but then don't keep doubting yourself. You doubt yourself, am I good enough? And then the answer would be, I think, yeah, I'm good enough. I mean, yeah, I'm good enough, yeah, I love myself. That's how it actually starts. You start questioning about yourself, and you actually try to find answers which match the present scenario in which you are in, and then you actually
Totally,
like it.
totally. Like there's
Actually,
a slight thin line between self doubting and self questioning. Self doubting is like a bit negative, a tad bit negative compared to self questioning and self analysis. Self analysis is when you start questioning yourself, telling that, am I good enough? It could be yes or a no. Self doubt often leads to the thing in a more negative inclined way, to be more precise. Am I really good enough? That tone, not the tone like, am I good enough? Yes or no. So that's a slight thin line of difference between that.
Manasvi's made an excellent point that the differentiating between the two. Another thing that she said about how you give the power of approval to someone else. So you basically, when you lack love for yourself, what happens is you cannot approve of the things that you do, and in that way, you kind of give the power of approval to someone else, and their opinions start mattering so much that you have no value in your own eyes. So you start comparing. So one thing leads to another. So it's like a circle where you start giving the power to someone else, then your value deteriorates, then you start making a comparison that, oh wait, they are giving me an approval, so they are greater than I am. So you you kind of in a way put them or prioritize someone else's opinions and characteristics above yours, and which is not really in any way good for your mental health, emotional health, or physical health. It affects all forms. So
Excellently put. I have another point to add to what Shirin just said, that whatever the processes in nature are relative in kind. Basically, you compare things. If you want to compare if you want to judge a quality of some person or an item, basically you compare it with something. So whatever we do, whatever is happening, is relative in nature. So once you don't love yourself, man is designed in such a way that he or she loves something. So once you don't love yourself, you love something else, and you start comparing yourself with it. And since you love something else, you consider that thing or that person to be better than you. So it's better to love yourself and then compare yourself with the previous you, so that there is a change, and change for good in yourself, rather than you comparing with someone else and there's a uh, toxicity being filled in yourself. So now that we've understood the ill effects and importance of self-love, let us discuss how we can attain self-love in our lives. So, understanding the previous points that we've discussed, I believe that the some of the points that we could incorporate in our lives to attain self-love are that we should not compare ourselves to others, we should not underestimate ourselves, and I believe there are many points. So let's pool in the points by our guest panel. So yeah, Manasvi.
Yeah, to begin off with, uh, I believe the first and most important thing that we should try to attain is self positivity. Start looking at yourself in a more positive way. Surround yourself with positive thoughts and eliminate the negativity around you. Don't never surround yourself with negative people who keep telling you you can't do it, dude, this is not possible. So it's okay, you can lose people, but do not surround yourself with toxic people who make you feel undermined, make you feel you're not good enough for it. That is one thing. Also, stop comparing yourself to others in the generation where you have Instagram and every possible source of internet, where we see a lot of comparison happening in and around. As far as the comparison is good, that's not a problem. As far as the comparison helps you to grow as a person, it's not a problem. But when you start taking things in a more negative way, say like there are a lot of issues, be it body confidence issues, you look at yourself in the mirror and a few people start feeling like, I'm not good enough, dude, this is not what I wanted to be. So you see fairer people, or you see so-called societal norms attached to it, that beauty standards and all. If you're not able to fit into it, you start undermining yourself. Your self-confidence decreases. That shouldn't be the case. If the thing starts motivating you to do good in life, like work on your things, work on your bodies, then it's good enough. But yeah, as far as it make you a better person, it's good enough.
Shirin.
I'd like to really appreciate Manasvi for bringing up the topic of body positivity here, because it's so important. It's kind of almost interlinked with the concept of self love. And when I say body positivity, it might mean in any aspect, uh, be it right from every type of body, skin color, skin type, hair color, everything. Someone thinks they are fat, someone thinks they're too lean, someone thinks they're too short, someone thinks they're too tall. So everyone has some or the other issue with their body. So it's so important to feel comfortable and accepted in your own skin, and understand that however you are in the physical sense in your own body, as long as you are it truly depends on the person you are, which comes from your character and not the way you look. So it's very important that you accept yourself that way and move forward. That's like the first step to self love. I really feel until you don't accept your body the way it is, and your whatever it is, you cannot really attain self love. And another thing that i'd really add I'd like to add to this is that if you don't also love the things that you do, there is no way you can love yourself. For example, if there is uh, for example, there is a course that I'm doing and I do not like it at all, but I'm just doing it because all my friends are doing it. I'm just forcing myself to take a course because all my friends are doing it. Then that is in no way I can enjoy the course, and I will start disliking myself because I'm probably not doing well in that course because I did not like it in the first place. So why force yourself to do something that you don't like? Just don't do it. Skip it. Do things that you love. You like to sing, sing. You like to dance, dance. You like to just sleep, sleep. So whatever it is, do things that you love, and it will automatically lead you to loving yourself and being more comfortable and caring more for yourself first.
Saika?
I would like to talk about how self love is achieved by a person. I mean, not totally achieved. At least something to start off is a good thing. Uh, one should always think that oneself is beautiful no matter what. We keep listening to such phrases, you know, everyone is beautiful in their own way. What does it actually mean? Like Shireen said before, some people think they're too short, some people think they're too tall or too fair or too dusky or whatever it is. Like all these things which I mentioned right now are just factors. They have their own definition and they are just factors which make up something when combined together in different ratios. And every ratio is beautiful. You might have a little tall factor in yourself and the other person might have a little the color factor more, but that doesn't mean that a particular ratio or particular amount of each of these factors make up beauty. That is, I don't believe in that. And yeah, there is no particular definition for beauty, and I think it is because of what I told just now. I think that justifies what the phrase beauty is for everyone and everyone is beautiful,
Beautifully
and
put.
that leads to self love.
Beautifully put, Saika. We have to accept the fact that whatever we discuss right now is easier said than done in life, because it's easier to say that you should feel that you are beautiful, but then when you are down, when you are a little depressed, and then it is difficult to say that I'm beautiful, because in that particular scenario you consider yourself to be the worst. So yeah, but in any man, in any situation, we have to understand the fact that we are what we are, and the only thing we can do for ourselves is to be a better us, or a better me, better you, better us in general. So yeah, so now that we understood how to attain self love by subtracting the negative factors and adding a few positive ones in life, which gives us the golden ratio of happiness and attainment. So let us go ahead and discuss a few personal experiences of ours wherein how we attain self love. Let's start with Shirin.
So let me tell you the one thing that I do, which many people in my college feel is very weird. So what I do is I love dressing up. In generally in my life, I love to dress up. I love to shop. So these are the two things I do to pamper myself, to love myself. Shopping. I think anyone who knows me closely now knows how crazily I go shopping, especially jewelry shopping. You leave me in General Bazaar, Secunderabad, I can stay there for the whole day. So I will go to every shop. The shopkeepers know me. It's like that. We're acquainted. So that is the way I shop and I buy things that I like and pamper myself, and that is how I practice self love. Another thing is what I do is during my peak tension during exams, I wear my confidence in the form of my dress. I deck up like I could be going to a wedding, go and stand in front of the crowd, and they think I've prepared the entire book, whereas I couldn't have studied anything, or I probably started preparing just the night before. But it's just the confidence radiates through the way I dress up and I portray myself. And that is another way I practice loving myself. I just because someone thinks it's weird, I don't stop doing it. It's still my number one thing, irrespective of how much I've studied for the exam, how scared I am. It doesn't matter. getting ready before an exam and taking up is and this I've been doing from first semester. So anyone will give you a proof of what I have been doing since first semester exam. Irrespective कि क्या पढ़ा है क्या नहीं पढ़ा है, dressing up top priority. So that is the little ways in which I pamper myself. I love myself.
Let's go ahead with Saika, your experience.
Yeah. The first thing I would like to say is everyone knows I am not an introvert and I speak to a lot of people. I've been like that since my childhood. So being an extrovert comes with a lot of package, and you have to deal with it. You have to learn how to deal with it because you speak to a lot of people around you, and at some point everyone becomes important to you. You can't differentiate who's genuine and who's not genuine, and like before you even know it, you are surrounded by toxic people, and their toxicity um, makes you question yourself. Not question, makes you doubt yourself, like we discussed before. Makes you doubt yourself to an extent that you do not love yourself anymore. And the first thing I did was cut off the toxic people in my life. It was very difficult for me, but good things do not come easily. And cutting off toxic people, for a person who cannot cut off people from her life, is like a very difficult task to do, which I did. And trust me, it is better to have fewer genuine people in your life who make your self worth it than having a lot of people who do not even care about you, and maybe they are the reason for your downfall. You should know how to cut off people like them. And another thing is um, being body conscious. I was a very chubby girl right from my childhood, and I didn't let it affect me in any way right now. But then there were, many instances where, because of how I was looking, because I go perform, because I'm a singer, I go perform, and there were many instances where I was not preferred just because of the way I look. That is, we all know that is a hell lot of injustice, but that shouldn't let you, giving up on what you love doing. You you love singing, and just because you don't look the way people prefer you to look, that doesn't mean you have to give up singing and you chalo yaar, people are not ready to accept me, so you know what, I think I don't deserve it, and then just stop doing it. That is wrong. You have to do it no matter what, because at the end of the day you are happy and you love yourself. That is what matters. These are the two things that changed my entire life, and actually I'm happy that I could share it with you all today.
It was very beautiful, Saika. And I assure you, the people who misjudged you and who went for looks than the talent will regret it in the future. If not, they're regretting it already. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, Manasvi.
Uh, yeah, I completely resonate with what Saika has just said. Despite of everything, imagine like we four are very different people, unique to ourselves. People look at us and feel like these people are generally happy people. But trust me, it takes a lot of, it's a whole entire process to get to that level of happiness. It takes a whole lot of process to get to that level of confidence. So yeah, in that process of journey you might be meeting many people, just as Saika said. Keeping away yourself from all the toxic people is very important in your life. uh, I could resonate with those similar kind of situations, because when people look up to me and they look at me as a very happy person, as a very, chill kind of a person, but there's a lot of things going on inside. There's a lot of self doubt. When you meet the right people at the right time, that is when I started realizing, okay, I'm good. Probably, unlike many other people, I started loving myself after seeking someone else's validation in my life. That might be weird, but it is what it is. When someone started telling, okay, this is something good about you, these are the positive aspects in which you can actually start loving yourself. There is this one person that I met recently who started, you know, looking at me in the way I would never look at myself. So yeah, that is how it started. And then the process of self-love, and trust me guys, self-love is not a continuous thing. You will have breaks in between. Like, millennials go through these constant breakups and all of these things that switches on and off their self-love as a process. Once they end up having a breakup, it does affect them in a very negative way. Self-doubt comes up, there's a lot of mental issue that you'll be having. So to overcome that, probably all it takes is treat yourself, give it some time, be with yourself, surround yourself with more positive people who would not let you think about yourself in a negative way. That's about it.
Beautifully put, Manasvi. I can totally relate to what you said because not the extroverted part type though, because my personality type is INTJ, so I for introvert. So as you said that many people just by looking at us, the four of us to be in particular, they think that we are all this extroverted, high energy pitched guys. But then we've been through a lot, and there's been a quite a journey to reach here, because I remember myself being what I was like. If I see myself back like 10 years back, when I was in what primary school, I used to be the quiet kid of the class, average in studies, not that great, uh, pathetic at sports, zero extracurricular or co-curricular activities. So from that, if you see me now, still bad at sports, average speaker, average marks, but then really in love with myself. So it's been quite a journey. And for me, the turning point was, if you ask me, was in eighth grade, wherein I decided that I wanted to become a businessman, but then I didn't have any qualities of a good businessman, to be honest. I was not a good speaker, very indecisive in nature, introverted as hell. So I worked on myself, because I believe that we are not born with skills, but rather we acquire it over the course of time. So nobody is a born winner. We win eventually if we work for it. So I worked on myself, worked on the characteristic traits that I wanted to achieve in my life, and eventually here I am. And I aim to become even better in the future. So yeah, that's self-love for me. And self-loves have been a bliss ever since that I have accepted it. So yeah. So today's been an amazing talk. We've discussed many things here about self-love, discussed personal experiences as well. So it's been a really good talk for me. And now let's have a few concluding words. Shirin.
So yeah, to conclude, I'd really like to say that everyone should really start uh, by accepting what is happening in their life right now. Like, start accepting your present selves than thinking about how you were in the past, or how you're going to, worry about thinking how your future is going to be. Obviously, plan things out. That's no one's going to stop you, but don't worry about it. Rather, accept your present and make mistakes, but forgive yourself. Don't go too hard on yourself, and prioritize yourself before giving the power of approval to anyone else. And do things that you love. Do not force yourself to do anything in life ever. Relax, enjoy life, sit back with a cup of coffee or whatever you like. Sleep if you want to, cook if you want to, order in, watch a movie, sleep if you don't want to do anything. It's totally fine. But like I said, only do things that matter and that you love. Without that, there is no way you can be in peace with yourself, and obviously you cannot, resonate that to anyone else, or radiate that to anyone else.
If anyone out there is facing a difficulty right now and you have no clue what to do, and you have no idea how this is going to pass, let me just tell you, whatever you're going through right now will pass. This too shall pass. So stay strong, keep loving yourself.
Or the easiest way of cure could be just sit back, eat your favorite food, play Kun Faya Kur, keep listening to it on repeat.
Can't we all relate to
Yes, sir.
it? So thank you all. Thank you, Manasweet, and thank you all for being a part of this episode of Pot Shots. And I really wish that many more people come on board and be a part of it as well. I especially want our first year students to come on board so that they can have a interaction with their seniors, as well as many people come to know about their viewpoints. So that was our episode on self love, and the pot will be uploaded on Instagram, IGTV, and YouTube as well. So thank you, and have a great day ahead.